John, a lot of numbers to go through here. 147,000 jobs created, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is above the 106 estimate that we got from Bloomberg Economics and the economists we survey. Private payrolls up 74,000. Let's take a look here at the unemployment rate. It falls to 4.1%. There was some thought it was going to go maybe as high as 4.4. The forecast was for 4.3. So much better number than anticipated. We also see, and I'm going to jump here to jobless claims, a big drop in jobless claims to 233 from previously reported 237. So jobless claims and unemployment go down.
Here at Courageous Media on the eve of this holiday, Independence Day weekend. Really appreciate everybody rolling up. Thanks for being here. We got a great show for you today. Trump is rolling on. The last 10 days are going to keep going. Remember when he said you're going to get tired of all the winning? Well, we have some winning to talk about today. First up, this phenomenal June jobs report. And I say it's phenomenal because all of the pundits out there were telling you that it was going to be atrocious, that we were going to lose jobs. They actually said that we were going to have a net negative job growth in the month of June. It was going to be a catastrophe. It's because of the Trump tariffs. It's because of the Trump bombing of Iran. It's because of Trump deportations. It's because of Trump. But once again, they were wrong. Trump has delivered 147,000 new jobs in the month of June. I say Trump has delivered not because he actually did it, but because his economic engine is beginning to hum. It is building up momentum. It is gaining speed. And everything that he has done is pouring jobs back into the United States. The tariffs are not costing us jobs. No, not at all. The deportations are not costing us jobs. No, not at all. All of the shrinkage of federal government jobs has been made up in state government and the private sector in general. This month, we're a little bit off in the private sector, but we're going to get into that. So let's dive right in. Thanks everybody for being here. We're going to show Fox News had a great report on this. So let's dive in with Fox Business as they talk about the June jobs report.
Listen to this, 147,000 jobs on non-farm. That is the estimates of 110,000. The unemployment rate went down to 4.1%. The expectation was it was going to tick up to 4.3%. As for manufacturing jobs, down 7,000. We were looking for a loss of 5,000. Private sector payrolls, 74,000. That is below the expectations in the private sector. That kind of tracks with what we saw with ADP earlier this week. 105,000 was expectation for private. We came in at 74,000. Average work week down 0.1%, 34.2 hours there. And again, average hourly earnings up just fractionally there. But again, it really is, it's about that crossing number of the non-farm jobs picture. Let me tell you what the government had to say here, Maria. So basically, and this is
So this is huge. So all the pundits had said there was going to be net negative job growth in June, and they were absolutely wrong. The Trump economy added 147,000 new jobs while losing federal government jobs. So they made up for the federal government job losses and added on top of that. And so when I say that the private sector jobs were down, no, the new jobs were down. They didn't lose any private sector jobs. They only added 77,000. They were expecting 105. So a lot of the non-farm jobs were made up in some state governments and other places. However, the big news is that unemployment, which they expected to tick up, ticked down. So that is a huge win for the Trump economy. And while they had a huge loss of part-time jobs, those were all eclipsed by full-time jobs. The Trump economy is shedding part-time jobs and making full-time jobs. These are good paying, full-time, support your family type jobs. This is what America needs. This is absolutely great news for Trump and for America.
For the month of June, that 147,000 increase, basically they saw state government boosting jobs. Healthcare as well is being. The federal government continued to lose jobs, the government says, but state government and healthcare are the two things that are being highlighted within this report, Maria.
So state government did add jobs, which I would much rather state and local government add jobs than the feds. I'd much rather it all go private sector, but we're not there yet, not quite. But the fact that Trump added 147,000 new jobs, beating estimates, is amazing. Now, let's check out our friends over at, not really our friends, over at the Communist News Network, CNN, The Clown Show. Let's check out The Clown Show as they had to report on Trump's big win. Here we go.
We added 147,000 jobs in June. That was well ahead of the expectation of about 118,000, well ahead of some whispers that we heard on Wall Street of a sub 100,000 number. So this is indeed beating expectations. We were also expecting a slowdown. We did not get that. This is basically in line with May, which was revised higher. It's also good news. The unemployment rate was expected to go up. It didn't. It went down to 4.1%. That is a very healthy number. This is still relatively historically low. And again, it's below the 4.3% that we had expected. When we look at the trend in the jobs market, you can see that things have slowed down from last year, but not in an alarming fashion, right? We did expect to have weaker numbers here in the last few months. And so really things are holding up a lot better than feared. The unemployment rate, again, it's nowhere near where it was a few years ago. It does remain, look at this, the unemployment rate, it's still hovering at very low levels. Now, digging into where the jobs are, we did see significant.
So this is huge because, again, Trump, ever since he has taken office, has delivered economic win after economic win. They keep saying that unemployment is going to rise, that jobs are going to tank. They don't. They keep saying that his tariffs are going to bring inflation. They don't. They keep saying that his tariffs are going to tank the stock market. They don't. This is absolutely amazing news for Trump. It's big, big stuff. And it only keeps fueling the major wins for Trump, keep fueling his popularity, and they become a compounding effect. It's like compound interest, and it's fantastic. Again, Trump has delivered 4 straight months now of good job growth. He has delivered essentially 4 straight months of inflation killing. Inflation has been sub 3%, which is exactly where the Fed wants it to be. The bad news is this is not going to essentially coerce Powell to lower rates, because he's probably going to lower rates based on economic problems that he thinks he needs to stimulate. Powell needs to get in there and lower rates, not only for our short-term borrowing, but to continue to spur the economy. Because as this economic engine gets purring and gets rolling, as we add on the next big win, which we're going to talk about here in a few minutes, the supply side stimulus, this Trump economy is going to very much start to resemble 2017, 2018, when it was absolutely trucking down the tracks. It was roaring. And we are going to get there again with massive manufacturing job growth, with massive wage growth, with low inflation, with massive energy growth. This is all going to be happening. It is fantastic stuff. The April and May jobs numbers that the Trump economy, that the Trump administration rolled out, have both been revised higher because the Trump administration rolls out super conservative numbers and then they get revised higher, unlike Biden, which every single jobs report, every single one got revised lower, to the point that over the year of 2024, it was 1 million less jobs than they had purported he created, and which were all government jobs anyway. So it's 1 million less, and they were all worthless government or part-time jobs. And the stock market, you were right, is hitting a new high every day. So one more skip here on the Trump jobs report. I want you to see this. So check this out from, I believe this is Bloomberg. And the interesting thing is because Bloomberg hates Trump. Bloomberg hates Trump, and here they are having to report on what
And this is good news, much better than expected. An upside surprise on headline payrolls, 147, the estimate 106. The unemployment rate was at 4.2. In our survey, economists were looking for that to climb up to 4.3. It comes in at 4.1. And if you want some high-frequency data, or at least some higher-frequency data, jobless claims, much lower than expected. Across the board here in the labour market, this is a pretty solid read.
This is absolutely fantastic.